We live in probably one of the most profitable times in gun history. So why do I think the gun industry is dying? Well, stick around and I'll tell you not only why, but what you can do to fix it. What is up, my dudes, and welcome back to the channel. This is probably going to be one of the more important videos that I've done, just because this is about protecting your own rights. If you've been a member of the gun community for a while, you already know what we're up against, and if you're new to the gun community, well then, welcome to the fight. The government has been making calculating moves for decades to suppress your right to bear arms, and recent events have shown they're going full force with the gun control agenda. But while it's important to learn from history, there's nothing we can do to fix it. So we're just going to focus on what's going on now and what we can do to fix it. Now, what is it exactly that you need to be worried about? Gun control bills. Specifically from Congress, and even more specifically from Sheila Jackson Lee. She's been a U.S. representative for Texas, of all places, since 1995. And since 2017, which is just how far I decided to go back, she introduced about 80 different bills, and a fifth of those were anti-gun related. More specifically, if you haven't heard about it, she just introduced H.R. 127, which is one of the most intrusive gun control bills ever put out in history. I'll make sure that every bill that I talk about or reference I put down in the description so that you can see it for yourself and see what is actually being put in these bills, because honestly, it's scary and it's bold what they're putting in there. Another bill that was just introduced is H.R. 1454, which has to do with trying to serialize and do background checks for all the weapon parts. So not just the lower receiver or just the pistol grip. If you're building guns, they're trying to make it so that you have to go through a background check every time you buy a trigger, a barrel, whatever. Right now, there are 3 bills that are being pushed for a vote just next week. One of them being H.R. 8, which was introduced January 2019. And it's a more extensive background check bill. Okay, but what if you're for background checks? Well, then stop it. Get some help. None of us want bad people to have guns. I mean, that's kind of a given, so the sensible thing would be to have background checks, right? Wrong. Bad guys, they're gonna get guns no matter what, and what seems like it's common sense isn't sensible at all. It's actually being used against us. There's a long list of gun control bills that are being pushed right now and that have been pushed in the past, and you can always look those up. Everything is available online. But these are the ones we're worried about right now, so that's what we're focusing on. Now we're up to the new administration. They're screwing us. This new administration, they're making bold moves and don't show any signs of stopping anytime soon. And the reality is, they're doing it because they're scared. Just January 2021 saw an 80% increase in gun sales as compared to January of 2020, which equates to about 2.2 million guns. So honestly, good job, America. Way to go. Like, seriously, that is awesome. Keep protecting yourself. It's important. But now, they're going full speed ahead. I mean, February 14th was the 3-year anniversary of the Parkland shooting, and Biden decided that he was going to put an official statement out using that as a tactic to push for more gun control common sense laws, which are not common sense at all. They're not worried about protecting us as people. They're worried about protecting themselves. And that's the whole reason why they're using these scare tactics and these common sense gun laws to try and convince people to put these bills into effect. Now, Biden is trying to get Merrick Garland confirmed as Attorney General next week, and Garland, he has been described as a Second Amendment skeptic, which, no, I don't like that. It's not okay. So this could do even more damage to us or to our right to bear arms in the future. Alright, so we're done talking about what could happen because we could go on forever about the possibilities, the whole what-if scenario. What can you do as the regular American gun owner to fight these things from happening? First off, let's pay attention to who and what you're voting for. We as Americans, we kind of dealt ourselves a crappy hand, and now we're the ones that have to deal with it. But the action you can take today is set up so you can help stop these things from happening in less than a minute. Seriously, in about 60 seconds, you can make a difference. That's it. So, how do you do it? Well, there are a handful of gun right groups that you can find that are actively participating to protect your Second Amendment rights. Everybody has a mixed opinion on the NRA. We're not even going to touch them. I don't touch them. You don't need to touch them. Let's move on to my top 3 that I personally think actually make a difference. My number 1 is the Firearms Policy Coalition. And second, we have the Gun Owners of America. And in number 3, we have the Second Amendment Foundation. The FPC makes it super easy for you by notifying you of attacks on the Second Amendment, both federally and centralized to your own state. The best part is you don't have to pay a dime. You can, don't get me wrong, it'll help, but you don't have to pay a single penny to take action with them. If you do, it's really going to be helpful, and they are actively putting that money towards their legal efforts. But if you don't want to do that, again, you don't have to. You can do it for free. Now let's go in and show you how you can do that. Alright, so we're on firearmspolicy.org, and this is how easy it is. You just jump down here to take action, find a bill, then once we get here, you'll see this box at the bottom. This is where you're going to put in your personal information. Now, the reason you put in your personal information is it's going to send this to the senators that are local to you, where you fall within their jurisdiction. Now you're just going to hit next. And here you go. This shows who you're sending it to. Right here, this one's just good old Sheila Jackson Lee. Now it has the heading, and they have a pre-written email that you can use, or you can change it if you feel like it. Now all I gotta do is hit submit, and you are done. Seriously, less than 60 seconds. That's all it takes to make a difference. Now, once you've done that, if you want to donate, you can. Just scroll down here, and once you scroll down here, you can do a one-time donation, you can do a monthly donation, whatever you feel like, or no donation at all. But that is all you have to do to make a difference, and we cannot afford not to. That's all it takes to make a difference, is just 60 seconds of your time. I know most of you are spending more time on social media than that every day, so make sure you guys are doing your part. It's your responsibility as a gun owner to make sure you protect those rights. That way, you and the generations following can preserve their right to protect themselves and any other constitutional rights. Oftentimes we find that when you give somebody an inch, they take it a mile. And the second you give any little bit of allowance to mess with your rights, they take it as far as they can. So let's stop that before they have the opportunity. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment any experiences you guys have had with some Second Amendment groups or gun groups, positive or negative. Let's put them down there. Y'all have fun. Be safe. Make good choices. Have a great day.